Alright, so here we are for another episode of RC Pit Stop, and today in the pits we have the Hobbyking Berserker, and you might be wondering what is going on with this car, what am I going to be doing with it? Well, I actually had to go back and watch some of my old videos of this car because I'd kind of forgotten where I was up to with it, and essentially I changed out the center diff and put the optional diff and spur gear that you get when you buy the car. I changed out the oil in the diff to 300,000 weight. And I think I may have changed out the pinion at some point. You can see here, of course, I've also changed out the tyres because the stock tyres were pretty hopeless in the terrain where I run, and I needed some better grip, and thankfully these are actually working very, very well. So what are we going to be doing with the car today? Well, I'm actually going to be changing out the front and rear diff oils to 100,000 weight. So I'm going to be using this guy here. Trackstar oil. You can get this from Hobbyking, of course, and I'm also going to be installing the optional wheelie bar on this car. So this is the wheelie bar kit that you get. Instructions are on the bottom, so I'll need to pull all of this out to kind of get the instructions and work out how all this goes together. They give you a spare wing mount, which I don't really need because I've got a few of them. Some carbon fiber plating here, and of course you got these very unique looking wheels with just a little bit of rubber on the end of them. And you got some more bits and pieces and odds and ends. Now, one of the things that I keep breaking on this car are actually these little parts here. This is actually where the wing mounts onto. These arms are actually pretty strong. So far they've been very good. I haven't broken any of those, but these break quite easily. And in order to get more of these little parts, you can see here I've got a few broken pieces in here. In order to get more of these, you actually need to buy the entire wing mount assembly, which is a bit of a shame because now I've got like 4 sets of these arms. I got the original ones that came with the car. I've got 2 spares here, and I've got another set in this wheelie bar kit, which is highly unnecessary, but it is what it is. Now, in order to fix this, one of the remedies that I've come up with, and I'm hoping that this works out long term, is you might be able to see here, I've actually got a different mount just on here. So rather than having these kind of like they're a little bit sort of hollow in the middle, you can see there, these are solid all the way through, and these actually came out of my armors. So either your Creighton, Talion, Typhon, any of those, you can get these little pieces, and you can probably tell that you do need to modify them a little bit. They do fit, but you do need to, I think, re-drill a couple of holes to make sure that they actually fit on there, because the holes that the wing mounts onto is not 100%, so I think I had to widen one of the holes out a little bit. That was really the only thing. But aside from that, bolts on, it's a lot stronger, and so far so good. I haven't broken it. So I've got a fair bit of work to do. We're going to be setting up the camera once again for time lapse, and you guys will see me working on the car once again. But before we get started, let's give this guy a clean. And there we have it, all done. Wheelie bar fully installed, as you can see there. There's actually two parts to this wheelie bar. The second part is actually still in the box. So essentially, you actually get two mounting positions for it. You can have this one instead of the drop-down one that I've got at the moment. And this one kind of sits up, if I can try and show you. This will actually sit up a lot closer to the actual spoiler, so it'll sit up like that. Hopefully you can see that. So it kind of sits up a lot higher. The extended one obviously really makes it wheelie. That's essentially what it is. This shorter one I think would be ideal for those of you who like to do things like standing backflips and so forth. I was going to put this one on, but it really sits up quite high, and I kind of want to test the durability of that extended one because the arm's kind of sticking out like that. I do fear that, you know, with one big hard hit on that wheelie bar and it's probably game over. So we'll see how it all works out. So now I've got a few spares, a few bits and pieces left, which is good. I'll take the body off, which of course I've also cleaned up, and as you can see I also cleaned up the truck pretty decently. I didn't wash it this time because none of this stuff is waterproof, so I didn't throw it under the tap. I just kind of used an air hose, cleaned it out, brushed it out, and that was basically it. When I started doing the front diff, I didn't realize that you don't have to remove the shock tower or anything like that. This actually does come off fairly easy. You just need to remove the front bumper, and then just move the sway bar out of the way and the whole casing will just pop straight out. So you would have seen in the time lapse I removed the shock tower, everything, because I thought that the shock tower was holding the diff casing in, or that it was going to be in the way. I was wrong. So this one obviously took a little bit longer because I took more parts out, but the rear one was obviously a lot quicker. There's no bumper back here, so you just have to basically remove the hinge pin brace, move the sway bar out of the way, and out comes the diff cover and you know, the little case, and away you go. You can rebuild your diffs. The diff oil that they used for this Truggy was actually really thick. I'm willing to bet that it was probably 300,000 weight. It felt probably just as thick, if not thicker, than the one that I've got in the center at the moment. So obviously with the 100,000, it definitely loosens it up a little bit. It should be a little bit easier to control now, since the front and rear diffs aren't super heavy. It should be a lot easier to control. So now that it's all set, I am going to get myself ready. I'm going to charge up some batteries and I'm going to take it out for another bash, and we're going to see how this guy performs. And of course I'm going to be testing out that wheelie bar to see exactly how that holds up. So that is it for this episode of RC Pit Stop. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the music perhaps, or the time lapse, if you enjoyed the modifications I've done to this car, please be sure to give the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and as always, check out the video description for more information on the Berserker, as well as a link to my Facebook page. I thank you all very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time.